Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be my holy grail glutes and hamstrings workout. These are going to be my top 4 or 5 glute exercises of all time. I feel like I've not done a video solely first on my glute workout in quite a while, so I thought I would just make one for you guys because they are always highly requested. I know that I did kind of include one in my full week of workouts, but I want to just kind of talk to you more in depth about, you know, obviously just the glute workout, and I want to include every single exercise that is basically my holy grail, because the one that I did in my full week of workouts was not my number one. So I'm excited to take you guys along on this workout. I'm going to be doing a mic'd up because you guys love the mic'd up videos on my full week of workout, so I thought why not bring it along, transfer it to a glute workout video. But as you'll have seen, I'm having my pre-workout this morning. This is from EHP Labs in the flavour Rainbow Candy. It's the Pride pre-workout. This is literally my all-time favourite pre from EHP, and they are currently still running their Black Friday sale. So if you guys use my code MIA, I will put it on screen, you'll be able to get up to 70% off on bundles, which is just insane. So yeah, the link in my description, or you can just go onto the EHP website and use my code MIA and it will work for you guys on there. I know that the next couple of weeks are Black Friday, and I feel with the kind of job that I do, obviously I do influencing and stuff, and I work for brands and stuff, and around Black Friday time it's a little bit difficult to find a medium ground between promoting ads and stuff and not promoting ads. I don't want to come across as a walking ad whatsoever. That is the last thing that I want on my page. Obviously, as you guys know, I work exclusively with 2 brands, Honor and EHP. I rarely do any other brand collabs, but even with the 2 brands that I work with, I really just do not want to come across as a walking ad. But I also do want to tell you guys what is going on with regards to the sale and everything like that. So if you are not interested in getting anything in the Black Friday sale with both Honor and EHP, then maybe just don't watch my content as much, because there is going to be huge sales on both sites. Well, there already is a huge sale on the EHP website, but there will be one on the Honor website soon. I will be able to tell you guys about that soon. But I also, as I said, don't want you guys to miss out on the deals with both the brands. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I really just hope that my socials don't come across as walking ads to you guys. That's the last thing that I want. And I'm obviously very, you know, dedicated to the 2 brands that I work with, so that will mainly just be what you see. It'll be from the 2 brands that I work with. But if you are interested in the Black Friday sales from both of them, then just look out for my content on all my socials, and I will keep you guys updated with the sales on both of the brands all over my socials. Just make sure you follow me on Instagram. It will all be on there when I know more. But yeah, all of that aside, that has nothing to do with today's video. Today's video is going to be a glutes and hamstrings workout. This is basically just going to be my holy grail, and I'm going to try and make it as in-depth as possible for you guys, including warm-up and everything like that. But I will talk to you guys about how I structure my glute workout and everything like that. I probably sound like a broken record talking about how to structure a glute workout. I know that I literally said it in my full week of workouts a couple weeks ago, but you know, for anyone that maybe new when you watch this video, I will just go over it again as I'm kind of doing it. But the way that you structure a glute workout is super important to be able to get the most beneficial results and to just have the most beneficial session, basically, because you can kind of do it wrong or do it right. I don't like to say that there's a wrong way or a right way, but for me personally, the way that I structure my glute workout is the most optimal in kind of getting the most out of the workout and it being most beneficial with regards to progressive overload, increasing strength each week, and just progressing week by week. The way that I structure my glute workout, that helps me do that week by week. So yeah, I'm gonna stop chatting and we're gonna go into the gym and train these glutes. Okay guys, gonna start with a warm-up. As always, you cannot be skipping your warm-ups, and obviously, as you guys know now, always do your dynamic warm-ups before your workouts and then do your static stretches after your workout. So dynamic warm-up is a movement where you are kind of in a constant state of movement rather than in a constant state of just holding a stretch, for example, which is what you would do after. For example, you would just kind of, you know, sit in a lunge after your workout, but for a warm-up you would kind of, you know, be doing leg swings and everything like that to just get your body moving and get the blood flowing around your body. But I'm going to show you guys my ultimate like warm-up routine for my leg day, which I do every single leg day, and it never fails me. Touch wood, it's not failed me yet. So I'm going to show you guys what I do, and it lasts around 5 to 10 minutes. So I start off with frontal leg swings on both legs, and I don't actually count how many I do on this. I just probably do around 30 seconds on each leg. Make sure that you only kind of do to what your flexibility allows you to do, because if you do this beyond your flexibility you could actually injure yourself. So make sure you're just careful and ease yourself into the warm-up as you go along. And then we're going to do the other leg, just the exact same. Okay, we're now going to go into lateral leg swings, which is just the same thing but obviously sideways. I don't really have enough room for this. We'll just do around 30 seconds on each leg again. And we'll switch legs. Just give your legs a little bit of a shake out. And then what I like to do is a deep squat, and I just like to kind of like sit into it and just kind of bob along both legs. And then I also like to do a hamstring stretch, so you're going to go up like this and back down, and just do the best you can with this. If you have to do it with bent legs, then just do it like that, but the more reps that you do of them, obviously the more you will limber up and feel a little bit more loose. But it's just such a good dynamic stretch for the hamstrings. And then the deep squat is just kind of like a really good hip opener. And then you're going to sit on your bum and do some hip rotations like this. And this is also just a really good hip opener. It's so important to open up the hips when doing leg day, especially if you are doing squats. We're not squatting today, but it's still super important to open up your hips because you don't want to injure those. Okay guys, first exercise we're going to be doing is barbell hip thrusts. Now you want to find a bench that kind of works for you. I'm personally really short, so as you can see I have just like lowered it onto the one that's like underneath the one that's making it level, if that makes sense. But everybody will be completely different with their height and everything like that, but you don't want to be up too high on the bench. You want your shoulder blades to be on the bench. You don't want your neck to be on it. You don't want your lower back to be on it. You want it to be like on your shoulder blades, just underneath them. And everybody's height and everything will make that the level of heightness of the bench so different for them personally. I sometimes like to use a plyometrics box as well. It is a little bit comfier than a bench. Obviously you've got a little bit more padding in a plyometrics box, but just do what works for you and find what works for you. Work with some like different heights and everything, and you will find what helps you feel the movement best in your glutes. But I'm going to just do a few reps with just the bar. I've brought my own barbell pad, but I will give you guys some form tips as well. So you don't want to have your feet too far in front of you or too close to your bum. I don't know if you can really see my foot placement here. I will do a better angle after this, but I like to grab the bar as I come up and I kind of scoop my tailbone under. Always keep your chin tucked and keep your head facing forward, and you want to limit the movement in your upper body as much as possible. Keep the movement super strict so that you are just focusing the weight on your glutes. There we go. And up. And up. And now we're going to add some weight. Okay guys, I'm going to do another warm-up set. This is 100 kg, and then I'm going to put on the weight that I want to do for the 3 sets. Okay, I'm going to be going into 120 kilograms. The reason that I'm not going too heavy on this is because I've not done this exercise in a while. I have been substituting it for the glute drive, which has been a bit of a lazy decision from me, just because it's easier to set up basically. But I need to definitely start doing these more because these are my #1 holy grail glute exercise. But as you can see, I'm using my jumper just for a little bit more padding. Do not be afraid to do that. Like, I just feel like the pad is just not enough sometimes, especially when you've not done this movement in a long time. It definitely hurts the old pubic bone. I'm just going to see how this feels, to be fair. I might even increase the weight on this, but we'll just see how we get on. Okay, I've got 10 reps and I'm definitely going to keep it at that weight. Hurting my pubic bone a lot, but it's not for any other reason really than just not doing this exercise for a long time. I just need to suck it up and get used to it. Okay, even on the second set that felt so much better with comfortability with the barbell, but I'm going to be doing another set of 10 reps once again. This is not a calves glute bridge, by the way. A calves glute bridge is when you kind of don't come all the way down at the bottom, so I don't really have much room. So a calves glute bridge will be you kind of going up to the top, coming down to around here and back up, but we're going to be doing a full range of motion hip thrust, so we're going to be going all the way down so your butt just kind of touches the floor a little, and then back up, down, keeping your chin tucked, and back up. Okay guys, we're done on the hip thrusts, and we're now going to be going on to the second holy grail, which is RDLs. Okay guys, next up we have barbell RDLs. These are my second holy grail in my glute workouts. If you guys ever see me doing a glute workout, you will always see me doing a hip thrust variation and an RDL variation. The hip thrusts work the glutes in their shortened position and RDLs work them in their lengthened position, so it's really important to get 2 of those movements in your glute workouts to benefit the most from them. But I'm going to aim for 8 to 10 reps for 3 sets. Oh, I'm feeling heavy today. You don't want to have your feet too far apart, and you want to have a slight bend in your knee and keep your chin tucked. Just go below the knee and back up. Okay guys, I did 8. Could have done 10, but that would have probably been until failure, and this is my first set and I've got 2 more sets to go, so I don't want to overtire my glutes before my last 2 sets. Okay guys, we're finished with the RDLs. They weren't feeling too good, to be honest. I was not feeling that strong. But I did 3 sets of 8 reps, and now we're going to move on to our next exercise. Okay guys, next exercise we're going to be doing is good mornings, and we're going to be doing them on the Smith machine. I just find that I get the best connection in my glutes on the Smith machine. Obviously you've got way more support than just with a barbell, for example. It's very hard to do barbell free weight good mornings, so I would recommend doing them on the Smith machine better, because you have also got that more stabilisation and support. I find that I do get a better glute connection because I'm not focusing so much on the balance aspect of things. But you don't want to go too heavy with these because they are very humbling. The Smith machine at my gym is actually very heavy initially. Actually, I'm not sure if I usually put 5s on instead of 10s. Okay, we'll see. Okay, you don't want to have your feet too far apart. I want to say shoulder width, maybe even a little bit less. And you want to actually put your feet a little bit back to allow yourself to come forward. Obviously, you're limited with the movement on the Smith machine. You can't just like move forward as far as you want. You are limited. So I would recommend putting your feet a little bit further back. And then you want to have a bend in your knee, just a slight bend. Come down, not even to a full 90-degree angle, and back up again. I find that the further I go down, the more I start to connect with my lower back, which is not what we want. Down to about here and up. Chin tucked again. You don't want your head looking up at the wall. Down, 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 and up. And you want to contract your glutes throughout, and you do not want to hyperextend once you get to the top, which means this. You do not want to be doing that whatsoever. You can cause really bad back injuries by doing that. Now go down and up. Contract the glutes throughout. Back up. You can make this more hamstring focused by straightening your legs a little bit more. Bending your legs more is going to contract the glutes more. And up. 2 more. So yeah, you can make this more glute focused or more hamstring focused depending on where you kind of like place your feet and everything like that. Same with RDLs. If you wanted to do your RDLs more hamstring focused, you would straighten your legs more so than bend them. That'd be more of a stiff leg deadlift. To target your hamstrings more, you'd be more like this rather than with the knees bent like this. So it just completely depends on your glutes and hamstrings day what you predominantly want to target more. Gosh guys, those feel hard today.
Sorry you're in the middle of your workout, but
it's okay.
We love your videos.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, of course, yeah. Okay guys, I'm gonna just film this set from this angle as well so that you can see kind of my stance and everything and how far I'm going down from behind as well as from the front, just to try and help you out as much as possible, because I feel like good mornings are pretty like taboo. I don't really see as many people doing good mornings, and I also find that like from my messages and stuff, people really struggle with getting the form down on these. So hopefully I can help you out as much as possible, but again, it is just a practice kind of thing. The more you do them, the better they will feel. You will find out what works for you. Okay guys, that is our compound movements of the workout done. I usually only do 2 compound movements, to be fair. I usually only do hip thrusts and then RDLs, but I have really been enjoying implementing good mornings into my routine as well, which is also a compound movement. If you're not sure what a compound movement is, it's a movement that works more than one muscle at a time. I always recommend doing your compound movements right at the start of your workout, just because they require the most energy and you don't want to be doing them at the end when you are depleted and tired. It's also the movements that usually more often than not people want to, you know, progressively overload in them as well. So if you keep them at the start, you've got all your preserved energy to be able to get as much output in them as possible. Yeah, that is our 3 compound movements of the session done. If you find 3 compound movements too much, because it is quite a lot, you know, as I said, compound movements require a lot of energy, and doing all hip thrusts, RDLs and good mornings in one workout, it is a lot. So if you maybe want to do something else instead of that, you definitely can do. I wouldn't really say that this is a beginners focused workout. It is pretty complicated, especially because I am doing barbell for most of the compounds as well. Maybe if you are a beginner, I would maybe swap the barbell RDLs for Smith machine RDLs, or you can even do dumbbell RDLs as well. It's just a little bit more simple, and yeah, it's just a little bit easier. I wouldn't say easier actually, but it's just a little bit more simple and easier to set up if you are a beginner. And then for the hip thrust, you can obviously do those on the Smith machine as well, or you guys will have seen me doing a lot over the past few months. You can also swap it for glute drive if you want, which is obviously on an already existing like hip thrust machine. It's a lot less work to set up, and it can just be a little bit less daunting as a beginner rather than doing barbell hip thrust. I even get put off by hip thrusts a lot of the time, like barbell hip thrust, because of the whole setup of them and everything. It really does just put me off, and that is Not gonna lie to you guys, that is why I have not been doing them as much over the past few months, because they just take so long to set up, and I find that they just take so much away from my workout. Because, you know, it just takes a lot to set up, and it just takes a lot of your energy actually setting up everything. And I found that implementing things like Smith machine variations or the actual machine version of the exercise is much less work to set up, and it makes your workouts a lot shorter, and you're also obviously not exerting as much energy just setting the exercise up. You know, you're preserving a lot of your energy for the actual movements. But my ride or dies will always be the basics, original movements of each exercise. For example, the barbell ones, barbell RDLs and barbell hip thrusts, which is why I have included them in this video, because they are my personal favourites for the glute growth especially, and they will always be my holy grails. That's not to say that I will do barbell hip thrusts and RDLs every single session. As I said, I do swap them for other kind of variations, but you get the gist of it. But yeah, that is our compound movements done. I'm now going to go into our unilateral movement of the workout, which is our single leg movement. And my favourite for the glutes, as always, I always say to you guys, this is my favourite glute exercise as a unilateral movement. It is cable step ups. Now, again, you've got cable step ups, you've got Smith machine step ups, you've got dumbbell step ups, you've got so many different variations of the same exercise. So this is just to kind of show you the exercise in general, but if you prefer a different kind of variation of the exercise, you go ahead and do that one instead. I used to do Smith machine step ups all the time, and then I kind of found that I prefer personally cable step ups, but that's just for me personally. So if you prefer a different variation to the other one, then you stick with that one. But yeah, we're gonna move on to cable step ups now. I hope they're free. Okay, moving on to cable step ups, and I have got this height bench, but it's like everything else that I've said. Everything that is like what I'm using, the height and everything will be different person to person. I'm 5'2", so like if you are like, I don't know, 6 foot, you're gonna use a completely different size bench to me for the cable step ups. But what I do is I use the cable attachment literally without anything on it. I just find that I can get a larger range of motion because I've not got a big cable handle in the way. I can put it all the way down to the bottom, which is also why I put this cable, like the actual cable attachment, all the way at the bottom, so that I can get a bigger stretch rather than it being here, for example. I wouldn't get as big of a stretch. But yeah, this is the distance that I kind of have the bench to the cable thingy, but as I said, this is for my height personally, so everybody will be different. Don't expect to be able to like lift heavy on this either. This is not an exercise that you want to go like mega heavy on. This is just something that you want to take super slow and controlled, and aim for a higher rep range and aim for higher volume. But you want to go opposite arm to leg and hold onto the cable like this just for extra stability. And you want to, as you can see here, you want to lean your body further forward like this, and the foot that is going down to the floor, you just want to slightly tap it on the floor. You don't want to be pushing off that foot on the floor. And you want to contract this glute here that is going down, all the way down and up again. But it's super important to have a little lean in your body. For me personally anyway, I find that that gives a much better glute connection when I'm leaning forward. So just put the bench a little bit further away from the cables if you are not doing so already. I'm gonna go down and up, but as you can see, I'm taking the movement super slow and controlled, and that is the most important factor. And up. We're gonna do 10 reps on each leg for 2 sets. The connection in your glutes is unreal on this when you nail it down. Oh my gosh, my bum. Oh. I promise you it's so worth it if you try and practice nailing down the form on this exercise. It's genuinely one of my favourite glute exercises of all time. And let's go on the other side. And up. You also want to keep most of the weight that's on this foot, you want to keep it in your ankle rather than your toes. The more weight you have in your toes, the more you're going to connect with your quads rather than your glutes. 2 more. We're going to do one more set of this with 10 reps on each leg. With the single leg unilateral movements, I prefer to do 2 sets rather than 3 sets, just because as an exercise as a whole, they do obviously take longer because you're doing one leg at a time. But especially with the unilateral movements, I like to take them really slow and controlled anyway, so I just find that doing 2 sets works better for me, especially when you've already done 3 sets of each compound movement. Okay, that is our unilateral movement of the workout done. I always go compound movements into unilateral movements and then into isolation movements. This is just the way I structure my glute workout to just get the most benefit out of it. So next up, we're going to be going into our isolation movement, which is going to be a hamstring isolation movement. This cable step ups is kind of like a unilateral and an isolation in one. I kind of class it as a little bit of both. For the glutes, it's obviously unilateral because it's single leg, but it does put so much focus on the glutes and just the glutes at once. So that is kind of like the glute isolation and unilateral movement of the session. And then we're going to go into our hamstring isolation movement because we've only done a hamstring compound of the workout. We've not done an isolation yet. Okay guys, I'm a shorty, so I need to change the settings on this machine. Let's see how that feels. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're gonna go for 3 sets of 12 reps on this exercise. Again, you want to keep it super slow and controlled, and you want to keep the focus in just the hamstrings. So if you feel like the weight is too heavy and you are kind of compensating by using, I don't know, a different part of your body instead of just your hamstrings, then lower the weight and make sure that you are feeling it in just your hamstrings. You can also do this exercise seated or laying, where you like lay on your front. I sometimes do laying ones, but I do prefer seated ones, to be fair, if I had to pick, but you can do what feels most comfortable for you. I just wanted to put emphasis on the fact that I'm doing a hamstring isolation movement, which is something that you should all do in your glutes and hamstrings days. It's not all about the glutes. So you want to keep your back onto the seat as much as possible, and then we're going to come down super slow. We're going to do a 3-second negative, which means it's going to take us 3 seconds to get to the top. 2, 3, and down. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2 more, come on. Oh, hamstring burn is one of the worst burns ever. Okay, 2 more sets of this, and then we are done. Please ignore my dirty socks. Alright guys, that is it for today's workout. I hope you enjoyed it. I've just got back into my car and it's absolutely freezing, but I need to go home and eat. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. I know that I don't do these that often, where it's just solely like one workout, but I do want to still implement these onto my channel to just try and have a good mix of, you know, like knowledgeable content and like providing you guys as much information as possible, as well as like the fun vlogs as well. So please let me know if you prefer like the more informative videos or the more like chilled vloggy videos. But yeah, I'll put the entire workout in the description as well if you guys are interested. And yeah, I kind of said everything that I needed to say during the workout, but please let me know if you do have any questions in the comments and I will get back to you. My whole fit for this workout as well was underactive. What a shock. I literally live in underactive constantly. I wear it every single day. But yeah, if you guys like this outfit, I think it's still in stock, but if you do want to shop any underactive, I do have my athlete support link in the description, which you guys can shop through, which just supports me massively. I hope you all enjoyed this video and I will see you next week. Bye.